Hi folks, this is Dr. Rob Cywes here, and today's video is a feedback video. I am the Carb Addiction Doc, and right here we've got the Carnivore Carb Addiction Kid. Today really is a follow-up video on a video we did a while ago talking about writing letters and more effective effort-based emotion management. Well, we're going to go through briefly a host of things. First of all, we received in the first week, in the first several days of publishing that video, we received over 1,000 letters. Over 1,000 letters. And I can assure you, if you've sent a letter and you haven't had a reply from us, you're in the lineup. We are reading through and replying to every single video out there. Now, why is this little man with me today? Because one of the things that we received from one of our followers is this t-shirt. And it's so cool because it is fundamental to what we do. And even little Rion got one. And it talks about a bridge. And a bridge is those little things that we do to get across moments in our lives where we're having some intensity, something, and we're vulnerable to doing what we do from an addiction perspective. We're vulnerable to that cigarette, to having that shot of whiskey as an alcoholic, to having that little bit of carbohydrate, that little snack, that little sugar and starch. And a bridge is something that we do. It's a word that I created where you can consume something. There is my coffee. You can consume something. Oh, that's so good. It's a cappuccino. You can consume something that contains no calories as a little mind-cleansing moment to get you over the need for, I need to do something that doesn't cause caloric harm, because a snack is always an emotional event and always causes caloric harm. So one of the cool things is that one of our patrons gave us this t-shirt, and that covers the bridge part, and I absolutely love that. Even my little guy over here down here has the word bridge. And by the way, we're African. He doesn't wear clothes very often. So he's wearing a shirt today. Here in Florida, we don't need clothes very often, and he loves to cruise around in his diaper. The other word that I ask people to talk about is, what is one of my favorite words? And actually, my true favorite word is bullshit, because I call out the healthcare system so often. And I call out nonsense in our healthcare system and the advice that people give us so often. But the other word that I didn't even realize I used, and a lot of you responded with this, is the word critical. It is critical that you do this, or critical that you do that. And I appreciate that a lot. But as I said, we are responding to letter by letter. We're individualizing our response. Some people wrote tons. Some people sent a short card. And we love that. We so loved your response to that. And keep them coming if you should. But just a couple of things. For example, one of the things that we received, a guy by the name of Ed Cannon sent us a really cool letter. And guess what Ed does? Ed writes books. So this book will be going on vacation with me. I can't get into it right now because once I start, I can't stop. At medical school, we played a lot of D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, for 3 or 4 days at a time, skipping classes. It got pretty ugly for a while. So, what I do is I take books like that I love to read, and I'm going to savor it when I take a vacation in a little while, read that on the plane, read that when I give myself that kind of downtime. So Ed, thanks very much for this. A letter will be coming in that regard. Something else that we received quite a bit of, and this is Russian coffee, Rushing, bunches of home roasted beans, home packaged, and just loving that. In fact, the coffee I'm drinking right now is their brand, and just absolutely loving it. Because coffee for me, when I drink it, you may be different, but I have to feel the hair growing on my chest when I drink my coffee. It has to be serious. None of that light stuff. So I like the darker blends, and thanks so much for that. And then finally, just a little thing over here. Look at this, folks. That right there, if you can see it, is an avocado plant. And a while ago, folks from Puerto Rico sent us some of these beautiful Puerto Rican avocados. They come in the shape of a papaya, but they're actually avocados, and they were so fat and so wonderful. And what I love to do, just a quirky thing that I love to do here in Palm Beach, is I love to plant seeds. and let them grow. We do a lot of palm trees, that kind of thing. My dad taught me that. And a large part of what we do is plant those seeds and get them to grow. Well, there's my avocado tree. And we have an avocado tree in our garden right now that I planted 7 years ago that has borne fruit for the last 2 years. And this little man, the only non-animal product that this little guy loves, avocados. He will go through a half avocado at a meal. That is his meal. Throw a little bit of salt on there, but he loves his avocados. So, by the way, just showing this little guy off, if you look at him, clearly he is not lacking in nutrition. He is, apart from those avocados, a pure carnivore. He only eats meat. A lot of fat, a lot of meat. And in fact, just before we came in, he had a slice of top round roast beef with Helvati cheese. And he scoffed down a piece of that. That was his meal. So this is a carnivore baby and about as healthy and happy and quiet as he can be. He's just under 8 months old right now. And as you can see, doing really, really well. And just so proud of him. So he is our little experiment, but so far the experiment is going very, very well. Throwback human. So I want to thank you all for the generous gifts and the generous letters that you've taken the time to do. But most importantly, it isn't about what you do for me. It's about what you do for yourself. I appreciate these gifts, but ultimately what's most important is that you find pleasure in what you do in terms of giving things to people, sharing your joy of life, sharing your story, having the comfort of empathetic human connection, taking that risk of writing your story down on a sheet of paper and sending it to someone that is not going to be critical or judgmental of it, that is going to receive it and be that empathetic person that understands where you're coming from. But also, your generosity is not about me. It's about you. And it's about the fact that you gain pleasure in giving. And that's our message. That is our message. Our message is to develop an effort-based emotion management system where you put effort into things, whether that's physical activity, whether it's something creative, whether it is something spiritual or meditative, or whether it is empathetic human connection. And you develop that as a fundamental part of your way of life, as part of your emotion management system, so that you don't need to lean on instantly gratifying substances. And with that little laugh, I'm going to end this video. Please understand that these videos are all done completely free of charge. We have a charitable organization that runs these. I don't benefit at all from the profit of these videos. Of course, if you set up a consult by texting 561-517-0642, we may benefit from that consult. But ultimately, these videos go to pay for James behind the camera and for the setup that we do. So if you feel inclined to donate some money to us, our PayPal account is robert@jackschildren.com, and we have a Patreon account, CarbAddictionDoc. So if you feel compelled to drop us a few dollars, we'd certainly appreciate it. We reinvest it in these videos. But thanks once again for your outpouring. Thanks once again for your response. Literally, I was overwhelmed. Over 1,000 letters so far, and really, really pleased with that. Sorry for the distraction. Well, actually, maybe I'm the distraction. Take care. We'll see you next time. Good job, Bobby.